Hey guys, Larry the Pipe Cat channel again. Gonna make another one on my phone, which I normally don't do, but my hand is rather forced at this point. We've got a new resident at the den of the Pipe Cat. My mom is coming, or she has come, to stay with me until her own assisted living apartment opens up, and she's on a waiting list for that. So I'm going to make this video in my bedroom, which is the first time I've ever done that. I've had to move my office into my bedroom. So behind the phone here is my workstation now, and I've got all the wiring and all that stuff all switched all over here. And my apartment has never been this cluttered, and that's saying something. But anyway, today I've got just a simple little product to show you. The usual thing, a brand name I have never owned before, and I've heard a lot about it, and I just wanted to see what it was about. And of course, Temu website. They got you coming and going. They monitor all your purchasing habits, and they monitor even everything that you've viewed, whether you've bought it or not. And so what they throw at me is a lot of imported guitars. So this is one that I'm gonna share with you. I've got the package, and I'm concerned. This was the only box that it came in. This was the only packaging. There was no outer packaging, and it was delivered by UPS Ground. That is scary. So I'm going to open it up real quick, and let's see what we got. This is your typical foam prom dress, and let's take it off together, shall we? The band's taking a break. We've got a nice dark corner. Oh, what's that? That is a Grote. And I gotta say, it's a matte finish. They're calling it green. It's kind of a seafoam. I rather like the color, whatever they call it. Yeah, nothing stuck in the bag. And there it is. A matte finish Grote, sort of like a Les Paul Jr. copy. I can tell you that the finish, I don't know how well you can see that. Might have to turn. I'm using the selfie side of the phone. I might have to flip this over. And if I do that, I'm not so sure how much is going to be in frame. But this is what we got. Take a close look. Can you see the finish? It is a matte finish. Closed tuners. And outwardly, I don't see any immediate damage. Take the little desiccant off there. I probably shouldn't eat that. All right. I won't. And this is a very cheaply made guitar. My very first impression. This P90, whatever sort of P90 it's going to be, I'm not really sure. I assume it's wired like a P90. I have no idea what its sound is going to be like. But the paint job was hastily applied on this guitar. And I mean hastily applied. It is full of pores. They did not seal the wood first. Doesn't look like they even put a sealer coat on this before they spray painted it. It just feels like paint on bare wood is what that feels like. Full of holes, very cheap. It's a little lighter than a standard Les Paul, but then again, it's not contoured in the face either. So there's no little mound there. And the head, up close, yeah, it's a little, it's got the nice little logo and all that. The front is just sort of a decal, I guess. It's not, that's definitely not an inlay of any kind. The logo and the little design are just basically stickers, but I'll tell you what, I think I paid $135 for this guitar. And I just wanted to see what Grote products were like. I've never had one. Right away, not really impressed. The construction value, the quality on this is initially very low. Not gonna lie. I've heard some people, sing their praises, and other people say they're cheap. But I never know until I, find out for myself. And right now I'm thinking, I bought a faux Jill Strat that you might have seen on my channel not too long ago. And that also felt a little cheap at first. But it was only like $109. And it was better quality than this thing is in my hand right now. Well, let's see what it sounds like acoustically. How about... acoustically, it's loud. Getting there. Well, here's the truss rod pocket here. Underneath the plate, the wood is chipped away, but the truss rod moves pretty okay. I tightened it up a bit, trying to get that straight shot. I don't have my straight edge in here with me, and the place is an absolute mess, but this is what I'm working on. And this nut, by the way, seems to be bone. It does seem to be genuinely bone. It feels like it. It taps like it. Kind of a ceramic feel to it. And you can see that? Look at that quote-unquote inlay. They're just cutting pieces of graphic paper with an X-Acto knife and taping it on there, and then, putting some sort of laminate finish over the top, or not even laminate, just some sort of spray to keep it on. But I'm going to keep going. I'm about to set the intonation and the action, and then we'll plug it in. In fact, we're going to plug it into this, my PV Classic 30. I've got the other half of this too. I've got the bottom extension cab, and this is one loud little bastard, but it's different. It's different from my my stage right amp for testing, a little more organic sounding, and we'll be back to check that out in just a moment. Well, guys, I have put the guitar through a little bit of setup. I set the intonation, and I adjusted the action. The neck had a bit of too much relief in it, I think. So at first I turned it maybe like almost a full turn to get the neck to begin to back bow, but I kind of overshot a bit. So the E string, the high E string, began to buzz slightly. So I backed it off a little bit, and I think I found the happy medium. Nothing's actually buzzing real hard right now. But it's iffy because the neck wood is so, it's so very porous and you know, I don't know what that neck wood is. It's just that the paint job is absolutely horrible. It's a matte finish, but it pulls on your skin, pulls on your hand. Excuse me. You can't be that fast with it. You would think that a matte finish you'd be able to move quickly over, but this just it's too porous. The porousness of it almost creates kind of a suction, especially if your hand starts to get a little sweaty. Probably more so than a gloss surface would do. So and it is, by the way, a set neck. This is not a bolt-on neck. So when you go to set it up, you gotta really you gotta pay attention to the tools that you do have. The only action tools you've got here, of course, are the height of the bridge saddles, and your nut slots, the string slots in the nut, which for this guitar they're a little bit high, and you may or may not have heard, but it's true. Your string slots are at least half of your playability. So if you've got the action looking like it's pretty good, but when you play it still doesn't feel real comfortable to you, like it's a little more effort than you think you should be feeling, it's probably the nut slots. If you have a nut saw, or if you have a set of nut cutting files or saws, you'll want to check that out. And the way you do that is you push down that third fret right there, and then you push the string down and see what does it take to hit that first fret. In this case, the first fret, that one's really low, but the rest of them. So the high E string, that's all the way down. I wouldn't drop that another millimeter or fraction thereof. The B string, that's a little high. G string, also a little high. D, high. A, high. E, high. So every string except for the high E string, I need to cut the nut slots down a little bit. That'll make this guitar so much easier to play. I may have to put some kind of treatment on the back of the neck to make it faster, but you know what? The paint is horrible. If this paint began cracking off this guitar, one thing I wouldn't do is cry about it, because it's a terrible paint job. As much as I like the color, as long as it looks good down here, in the body, I don't care much what it looks like in the back of the neck. In fact, this might even be a good candidate for sanding the paint right off and just finishing it with whatever you like to finish it with. You got to do a careful job, though, because it is a set neck. And, you might want to just feather it off right at the heel without going down into the, because this curvature down here, that'd be kind of tough to sand that real clean without biting the paint off the body. But anyway, so here it is with the pickup. The pickups have been set to the optimal height that I can get for them. The neck pickup, as you will hear in a moment, has got a nice tone and a lot of power, whereas that bridge pickup, well, I'll play it and let you decide. I think that one's going to go. But the pots seem to work correctly. No problem with those. And the switch feels pretty substantial. No problem with that. Like I say, that the nut is bone. That's actually bone. I'm surprised at that. That it's either bone or a very close facsimile, but the material feels good. The tuning keys are they're decent. They're pretty smooth to turn. They're not bad. I can't complain about those. None of them feel loose or shaky, and the ratio is a little low maybe, but not crazy low like some I've seen. It's actually pretty easy to tune this guitar. Now, I don't know what kind of strings these are. They don't feel like absolute horrible strings, but they don't feel like the best strings either. I believe they're 9s. So let me just let you hear it. Again, I've got my Peavey Classic 30, and I've got it set maybe a little bit barky, perhaps. Here is your bridge position P90. That amp does not sound like my stage right out in the living room. That's for sure. That's so much cleaner. These are a lot more organic, and they get very, very loud. I get this down at bedroom level. That's the bridge position. Let me show you the neck. I like the neck. I like the neck. The middle, when you combine that sweet sounding neck position with that mosquito-y bridge position, you get this. It lacks character. You know, I hate to monkey with those fret slots, but because they're actually they're moving. When I move that tuner, nothing gets stuck in that nut. Fret slots, string slots in the nut. Sorry. Again, this is tuned by ear. All the tools I've got in the room, the one thing I didn't have was a tuner. Do not like that middle position. Like I said, I just get it set for Barky, not very bright. This amp doesn't get very bright. Clean it up a little. Again, this is the bridge position pickup, now that I've cleaned up the amp. Sounds better clean than it does really dirty. Middle position. Neck. I just like the neck. Anyway. Intonation's fairly close. So there you go. There's your Grote. What was it? LPS-023. I think that's what it is. You'll find the correct model number in the blurb under the video. I'm going to say, final verdict here, This guitar is thrown together. It's cheaply made. They concentrated on a couple of things that I'm sure they thought people were going to care the most about, which makes sense. The frets are really, really nice. The frets are, they're nicely laid. They are nicely polished. They are level. They are ball-ended frets. The frets are great. The shape of the neck is pretty good. Pretty good. It's a pretty healthy C-shaped neck, which I prefer. I like them a little thinner than a D neck. The D neck, for some reason, I got tendonitis, and right in here, in between my fingers, it starts to ache when I play the D-shaped neck. The truss rod moves easily. I was able to move it backwards and forwards and come to a happy medium, and it didn't struggle. It didn't fight with me. I overcompensated once and backed it off a hair, and it corrected instantly. That's probably because the neck wood is rather soft, and the finish is not doing anything to support the neck. The pickups, like I said, they do sound like P90s. They do, especially that neck. I'm going to keep that neck. I like that. I especially like that neck pickup. But this bridge pickup is, the technical term is shit. It sounds like a mosquito, and I don't think that I would want to really do anything with that. There are much better ones. I want to see, though, if that cream cover will, excuse me, will fit the next one that I drop in. And look at the play you've got. Now the neck is installed kind of hard. There's not much play in that at all. But this bridge position, look at it. A lot of space there. You could brace that up with something, but just one of the things they cut corners on. Take a look. Can you see the little... I suppose it's hard to see with the phone camera, but... See the little flaws in the edge there? I mean, that's kind of ubiquitous on this guitar. It's all over it. This guitar was thrown together with speed in mind, and it's probably why it ended up on Temu. I'm not going to say that it's a bad guitar, but I am going to say that it's not going to rank up there with those stage players that I have recently reviewed. I think the Fogil Strat was a little bit better than this Grote LP. And the Donner, my Donner LP copy, I'm in love with that thing. In every way, that guitar beats this one out. And it's only a couple of dollars more than this. So it's just another one of those studies in Chinese imports. If you need to practice at home, there you go. Your kid wants to start out, there you go. You could probably use this as a backup at a gig, but I mean, it's just kind of on the poverty side, and I just like the color and the shape, and from a distance it looks kind of neat. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with this. I'll practice with it. I don't plan on impressing anyone with this. When this pickup is exchanged for something that sounds better, I'll be a lot happier. And I'll probably do something about the back of that neck. I'll probably I'll see how far I can sand it down to get it to feel smooth. But I have a feeling I'm going to burn right through it. And that binding, like I said, can you see where the paint line meets the binding? It's hard to tell. You can feel it with your finger, though. It's absolutely pronounced. Absolutely. And look at this. Can you see where see the edge line there? They did not much to keep that clean. So this is one of those guitars that makes you think that the inexpensive manufacturer has become so blasé and rote for the people making this guitar that they truly have begun to stop caring as much. They did put some thought into that neck, I'll give them that. And the electronics seem to work just fine, except for the tone I don't like. I'm going to leave it right there. It's got crappy finish, nice color, nice frets, really nice frets, nice bone nut, really nice. Nice tuners, too. A lot of the hardware is really good. This bridge seems substantial and nice and strong, and, you know, doesn't seem flimsy in any way, and there's nothing rattling around in it. But the wood that it's made of is light and probably very inexpensive. The paint job, like I said, it's all full of pores, and you know, I mean, orange peel would be preferable to all these holes. So, you know, if you know what you're doing and can fill it or something like that, you might make it into something decent. But I paid $135 for this from Temu on special, and I don't think I would have paid a penny more. And like I said, I'm just going to use it probably just to practice on. I'll keep it in my room. Now that my Classic 30 is in my bedroom, I guess I'm just going to leave it there because my mom lives here now. I can't practice in the living room anymore, temporarily. But that's okay. It's worth it to have Mom here. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry this video is so long and probably boring, but I'll come up with something more exciting in the near future, I promise. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by.